Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs is here with me to react. Congressman, thanks for being with us tonight. Just want to start with the latest on anything you know and your reaction to the situation in D.C.
Well, it's just developing so fast. There's so much information that's coming out, and people had a mix-up, if you remember, that where a report that the two National Guardsmen died, but that's not true. They're in critical condition. So a lot of information breaking out, and we're receiving it. But the bottom line is, as Kash Patel said, the team there, the interagency work, saved more lives. And I will say that when Mayor Bowser said this, she was accurate, I believe, when she said this was a targeted attack. And there's going to be more information to come. They just don't have much to give us beyond what we've seen, what you've seen as well.
Congressman, I want to pick up on that word targeted attack, because you can't help but remember all of the context around this over the past really many weeks, but even more recently this week, around how the troops are characterized as an occupying force, or how some of your colleagues in Congress have talked about illegal orders and what soldiers ought to do in response to that. How much does that context, do you think, come into play when it comes to what's being characterized as a targeted attack?
Well, I mean, we're going to learn more, but I do believe that sets the stage for and the foundation for this kind of this activity, which is accelerating. I mean, you see it all over, whether it's CBP or ICE, the attacks on them. The police officers who are attacked, and now you have National Guardsmen who are being attacked. And it's all this context that you call them and dehumanize them. You call them every name in the book. You dehumanize them, and sooner or later, someone will act on it. And my guess is this may be related. We'll find out for sure. But golly, I'll tell you what, it's the rhetoric that constantly says, these are not human beings and they're out to get you. I mean, don't forget, Senator Slotkin said not too long ago that these troops and National Guardsmen might actually shoot at American citizens. Do you not think that wouldn't be a trigger? That seems to me like that might have been a triggering event. We'll find out.
Very well said. And, you spend a lot of time in D.C. Some of our viewers do not. They don't know the difference between what's said about these National Guardsmen and what they're actually doing on the ground. These two, apparently, from what we know, were basically ambushed, somebody coming from around a corner. But talk about what these guardsmen are actually doing in D.C. If you're on the ground and you encounter them, what do you see? If you talk to them, how might they respond to you?
Well, if you talk to them, they're going to be friendly, and they're just like talking to any other person. They are normal people, normal lives. They happen to be in the Guard, and they've been called up for duty. But when I've seen them going around, most of them haven't been armed, and they're just a presence there. They're walking around, and you can go up and talk to them, say, "Hey, how you doing? Where you from?" And they'll tell you where you're from, and have a little chit chat. And but they're also their presence there has brought safety to D.C. Don't forget what it was like before they got there. I mean, there were homeless people everywhere. There was violence everywhere. And I had people calling me within a few days saying, "Hey, I feel like I can go out to eat now for lunch," and people, and I always watch, where am I going? Where am I walking? Everybody's head's on a swivel, because that's how unsafe it was. But now with these guys there, these men and women, it has been so much better, Brian, that it's hard to actually explain unless you've actually seen it up close.
Yeah, Congressman, I want you to stay right there for a second, because we've got Fox correspondent Mark Meredith live from D.C. with new details as the story develops. Mark, what do you know?
Brian, good evening to you. Police are calling this a targeted attack on two service members from the West Virginia National Guard who were simply on duty doing what they could to help clean up D.C. and make the nation's capital a safer place. The shooting occurred about 3 blocks from where I am right now. You can see the police tape here behind me. All the press, we were all pushed back with a few hours ago. But the shooting occurred a few minutes after 2 o'clock when a suspect who is yet to be identified publicly by police opened fire on these two service members, we believe at fairly close range, striking them. Those service members are in critical condition. We've had some conflicting reports on how serious their injuries were or if they were even fatal. Earlier today, Brian, the Republican governor of West Virginia, Patrick Morrisey, put on social media that they had died. He then pulled that statement back, saying he too was getting conflicting information. That a lot of times in these horrific events, which we sadly have seen all too often, that there is a lot of confusion about what has happened, how many people. One area that the police are clearing up right now, Brian, is that there was only one suspect or shooter involved. They have not identified who this person is. And while they are calling it targeted, they did not specifically say what this motive was. But the deployment of these National Guard troops in D.C. has been so highly publicized. We've, of course, covered it here on Fox Business quite a bit and controversial. But these troops have also been out here just doing a job, following the orders of their governors from the states that they're coming in and trying to do a public service to keep all of us, I'm a D.C. resident myself, safe. I've run into them as recently as Sunday near H Street, which is a main corridor here in D.C., and they'll basically walk up and down the streets, making sure people know that they are there. They want to be visible. These are not people trying to hide. Instead, the idea is by showing that they are on the ground, that they are active, that they can convey a sense of public safety and move criminals out of the area, that people would not want to mess either with tourists, government workers, or D.C. residents like myself. We're not sure yet how long this particular service members were here in D.C. Had they just arrived here? Were they on their way out? It's a holiday weekend. D.C. was already a quieter place than what it was normal. The shooting occurred just 2-3 blocks away from the White House. The president left last night, Brian. He was not here, but we saw a number of Secret Service, ATF, FBI, pretty much you name the law enforcement agency, they've been out here as well. We heard from FBI Director Kash Patel, who also offered the full resources of the federal government to help with this investigation. The Attorney General Pam Bondi has been briefed, President Trump, as well as Vice President Vance offering their full sympathy. But we also want to make it clear that there is going to be a continuation of this National Guard presence, that this is not going to, in the Trump administration's view, deter them from completing that mission. The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, dropped a video message on social media tonight, Brian, saying more troops will be coming to the nation's capital in the days, weeks, and months ahead. Brian?
Mark, that was a great roundup. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it. Bring back Congressman Andy Biggs. So I just want to get your reaction, Congressman, particularly to the last part of Mark's report there about the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, saying actually they're talking about upping the number of National Guard troops in D.C. by 500. Does that sound like a good move to you?
Yeah, I think you can't back down against crime and terror. When you do back down, then people are emboldened. Some of the bad men and women get emboldened. They start doing more things. But when Secretary of War said that he was going to bring, Hegseth said he was going to bring 500 more, I thought that is the right move at this time because it shows resilience, it shows strength, and by the way, Washington D.C. will grow even safer. I'm just telling you, when you get 2,500 National Guardsmen and women, because it is physical presence. They're not making arrests. Typically, they're actually out there though, and that deters carjackings.
Right.
It deters the muggings. All of that goes down.
Congressman, we appreciate your perspective tonight. Thanks for being with us. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Brian. Happy Thanksgiving to you, sir.